Welcome back. You're watching Breakfast at Dawn, and as I said, you can send any questions on Twitter, and we have MariaB in the house in case you just joined us. Haroon has a question for you. He's asking you, please ask MariaB, why did she support Zaid Hamid?
Ooh. You see, I'm an extremely patriotic person. I've told everybody from day one. And I've been searching. You know, you reach a point in life where you're making a lot of money. You have all your dreams coming true. You've done your bit, and you're like, now what? Do I have something to contribute to society? Is there a role that I have to play in doing something for my country? In the process, I looked at a couple of, I was so desperate to try and do something. I looked at a couple of political parties, and I was like, why don't I join like whatever is the best out of them? Let's not say who's good or bad. They're all pretty much the same, but at least I'll be able to do something for society generally.
Make a dent wherever you are. Bloom where you're planted kind of thing.
Exactly. And plus, considering the fact that I am kind of, celebrity status, it's my responsibility, whatever I've been given by God, I believe, is I've always wanted to use it positively. So I went around searching, and I looked at all the parties, and I was like, no, I can't join anyone. So that's when I had just gone for a lecture. There's this friend of mine who works, who actually studies at LAMS, and a couple of friends, we said, oh, there's this lecture, let's go and see what it is. And it was Zaid Hamid. And Aisha, I can't tell you, I sat through that lecture. It was live, and I think 1.5 hours with question answers, and I had a meltdown. For the first time in my life, I knew that this was the man who's going to try. He's trying, we're all trying to bring change in this country, positive change. Patriotic, he has very strong views about certain things. At the same time, I've started this project called Wake Up Pakistan.
Yes.
I'm taking it all over Pakistan. I'm funding it myself. I do not want any sponsors to come and, ki hum ye kare, hum wo kare, whatever. So this entire thing started with Zaid Hamid. Having said that, he's one face, one person. Our ideology is positive change, youth empowerment, and it's not about one person. Not me, not him, not any other person. It's about bringing about change, bringing about the ideology that Iqbal started with and Qaid-e-Azam started with.
Okay, well, it's interesting you say that because, I've always said this about political parties. It should never be about the person. It should always be about the ideology. It should always be about what your mandate is, what you plan to do for the people, and that's important. Now, when you talk about the empowerment of the youth,
yes,
as far as Zaid Hamid is concerned, he is accused of spreading a lot of paranoia, that there's conspiracy theories, that there's conspiracy. Everyone has a conspiracy theory in Pakistan. Okay, you pick up a rock, conspiracy theory will crawl out of it. Do you think perhaps that propagating that kind of paranoia is actually helpful, especially with the youth who are already so misdirected and they're looking for something, and we're already so cynical, we're already so bitter, it just adds fuel to fire?
I've heard that a million times, Aisha, but the thing is, conspiracy theory is labeled on anybody who thinks out of the box nowadays. If you're following the mainstream, whatever media is feeding you, I'm sorry to say, I'm sitting on a channel, but there's this information being fed to us constantly on every channel.
Yes.
You switch on from one to the next, it's the same story.
It's hard to fathom out who's saying the truth.
Exactly.
Yes.
At the end of the day, what happened before I even started working with Zaid Hamid, I saw these series called The Arrivals, which is called, everybody's like conspiracy theory again. But deep inside, every individual living in Pakistan knows that there are other powers at play.
Oh, sure.
We cannot possibly be that naive.
No, you can't be that naive. Absolutely.
I think that there's nothing wrong, and we are directing everything, and there's no international. So just because somebody is thinking out of the box and bringing all those fears in front of you and calling a spade, and sometimes in a way that, jolts people. I've known him for 9 months. I've seen the very sort of strong, aggressive side of him, and I've seen the very humble, like he's a fakir, literally. Because I'm into Sufism, I understand what fakiri is, and been in the Naqshbandi Silsila for a couple of years now. And when I see that, and when I see this, and I see the truth in everything, and I see the youth, how he inspires them, doesn't tell them to hate, tell them, the first thing is about correcting yourself. That's it.
Well, that's an important message. That's an important message.
Absolutely.
All right, now it's time to break out for the headline news. But we've got something new coming up after the headlines. A new segment, some advice, health, actually. And that segment is called Apple for the Day. That is going to be coming up after the headline news. Stay with us. You're watching Breakfast at Dawn, and I'm Aisha Khan.